Today we're going to have a question time event, so young people can pose questions to both us and the members of Parliament for Wigan to find out what we're doing for them. Personally, I'd really like to know what young people are thinking. Publicity for the event is really important, but I'd like to know what people are thinking so we can tell the House of Commons when we go in November what young people in Wigan want.
Well, basically, we're going to sit there at the table and we're going to be presented pre-thought questions, and we just really answer from the heart. Really, we just show them that on the top of our heads, and then afterwards we hold a presentation promoting our own campaigns, that what we're trying to do in the area.
Wigan Youth Cabinet came up with this idea a couple of months ago, and since then we've been inviting different MPs and people to get involved, and Sunshine House have lent us their facilities to use for today. Ultimately, we're the people who are going to be growing up and possibly living in Wigan, and so we need to have a say in the future of it. And also, if we are going to be the next electorate voting for the government, then we need to be aware of these political issues as well. So we need to see who is going to work best for us.
Welcome to Sunshine House, and it is very sunshiny at the moment. We're going to run the afternoon. Most of you might have a timetable, but you've definitely got the questions. There are a lot of questions. We may not be able to get through them all, but we'll try our best. Okay. Lucy from Plattridge.
A number of young people in Kerr are currently undertaking local authority apprenticeships, and a few people in our group are also keen at looking into this and maybe joining one. But we feel that the pay, not just within the local authority but in the wider areas, it's too low. So when we become Kerr leaders and we struggle we struggle even more, like what support mechanisms or changes can be implemented to ensure fairer pay.
So I think one of the things that we really need to be fighting for is a better apprenticeship wage anyway. And also some of those people that provide really good apprenticeships don't pay the national rate for apprenticeships, so I think we need to be urging that money to go up. And I think certainly in certain circumstances you need to then look to see, well, can that be supplemented? So is it about a case that if you're on that apprenticeship that you can get benefit paid as well?
Do you think there's enough being done for your banks and what's your plans for help it?
I think maybe not enough is being done, but I think there is an extent to which the government can do all they possibly could, and still that might be a problem. It's a kind of thing for society to move forward to.
Across the country, is there anywhere that has support for young people in one place, even on the web or a real place like a club or a shop?
I'd say the best place to start local, and then you make further developments. So like Youth Parliament, that's what I want to refer back to. But we're local, but then we spread across the whole country. So in 2 weeks, I'm going to be meeting up with people from up in Scotland, down Cornwall, and we're all meeting together to talk about things we're interested in. I think youth groups are really great because they encourage your passion. So I'm not saying you'll be interested in politics necessarily. You might be interested in football, you might be interested in drama or art or whatever. But I think it's really a responsibility that we're going to try and bring out to publicise the focus groups in Wigan that connect to the whole of the UK.
Young people's services across the country have been reduced greatly. How are you as an MP going to support and protect services to young people across the country?
We have plans for housing for the homeless.
Why do you have to know what day you're going to be ill when you book an appointment at the doctor's?
Why aren't more mental health services open at night? Like, there's daytime services, but at night you'll have to do it over the phone. Personally, I don't think that's good enough, because from experience, I've got a friend, and she rung one of the services because she was in a real bad state and she was going to self-harm.
and they told her to sit on her hands. What's that about? Like, that's nothing. Like, I've heard so many people's stories about, like, the services at night. Like, the daytime ones, they're alright, they're fine, people get seen to, but at night, when people are telling you to sit on your hands or go for a walk at 3 in the morning, I don't think that's on.
So this issue about being available round the clock, especially at night when people really, really need them, is absolutely right. The way to do that, I think, and to get better quality services that meet real need when people need it, is to listen to the people who actually use those services, and we don't do that anywhere near enough.
I was reading an article last night which says, from the council website, which says that this year the council has to cut 15 million. So, and it's looking to community groups and other organisations to run services instead. So do you think actually it will just be wasting our time to speak up for our services because the cuts are going to happen anyway?
So these are political choices that are being made, and I think sometimes what happens is that you don't win, it's a real slow burn, but it creates this real sense that you are a force to be reckoned with.
Well, I might not be very popular with some people in this room to say that actually, why did the libraries not get cut nationally in the way that was being proposed? Well, actually because people were out there campaigning to keep their libraries. Sure Start centres, people were out campaigning to keep the Sure Start centres. Unfortunately, there haven't been that many people out there campaigning to keep their youth club or their youth provision or their youth workers or whatever else going on. So if you want to make sure that you've got youth provision, you've got to be saying something about it. Because it's no good sitting back and going, okay, oh well, all right, I'm not going to do anything. And then a few weeks later, your youth provision is gone. So you've got to be there. And Lisa said this earlier. Young people, most of you in this room don't have a vote. So actually, why as a politician should I listen to anything that you've got to say? Because come next May, you're not going to vote for me, because you can't. So why have I got to listen to that? Well, I'm going to listen because you actually come and talk to me and give me a good story and make me listen to the things that you've got to say. So the council doesn't want to cut youth provision, I know that, but you've got to have a voice in there to be saying, actually, this is what this youth provision does for me.
I thought it was a brilliant way to voice other people's opinions and a great way of sharing other people's questions. So then, like, it wasn't just you thinking that you wanted to know that question, because other people would want to know that too.
I feel that it went okay. I feel like the questions were really good that were answered, asked from all the groups. The answers that were given by the MPs and the younger MPs, I feel like they answered them well, but I think like the discussion and the debate between, say, the younger person and the MP wasn't as in depth as what it should have been, really.
The young people that have asked questions today have been absolutely unbelievable. So some of them are much more confident than others, some are much more comfortable speaking in public, but all of them have stepped up and really held us to account. They didn't just ask questions about really important issues like housing or mental health or youth services or education. They also really chased us down and followed us up. So when they thought for a minute that we weren't asking the questions, they would come back and they would challenge us and they would make sure that we did. It's so impressive.
I think it's important that young people have a say in the community because we seem to have this stereotypical image of antisocial behaviour and a threatening image, and I don't think that's true, and we need to get it sorted because I don't think it's fair that a girl like me and my friends, we walk down the street and if we smile at someone we can be accused of mocking or anything. It's not nice. So
I think it's imperative that children and young people are involved in events like this. They obviously form the communication between ourselves and obviously what goes on at council. I just think that we really do need more young people to get involved, even if it's in the community, if it's having a voice on the youth cabinet. Again, just to get their message across of what needs to be done, what things need to be done in the community. If you can imagine, all communities vary from constituency to constituency. We have different levels of deprivation, or you know, we have more green spaces in one place and less in another. So obviously these views need to be taken into consideration so that we know what provisions our children and young people need, and also obviously what issues are affecting them, and it could be national issues as well, so that's something that we could maybe take to our MPs, and you know, obviously stand side by side with them, you know, on these particular issues, just to make sure their voices are heard.